Strikers, they will take on the Grenadines Divers. Somewhat of a 5th and 6th position. This will also be an exciting game as we see the Grenadine Divers. They won the toss and they decided they will take a bat, and the Foot Charlotte Strikers, they will take the field. We have Roxelle John with us this morning. Roxelle, good morning. You've been very busy all morning.
Good morning, Casnell. How are you doing, man? And good morning to the viewers of the penultimate day of Vincy Premier League 2.0. Yeah, you got to get the work done, right?
Right, it is. It's almost finished, so you need not to worry. You get enough rest. That will be much needed rest. As we see Ray Jordan, he will be the one taking up the attack from the administrative center end. We should be able to see, Roxelle, some pace coming out of this track. Being, you doing the pitch report, you alluded to some grassy areas, which will see some bunks. And while doing so, we are seeing somewhat of the change in the lineup for the Grenadine Divers. They have opted to start with Theophile and the non-striker Ned. So it's a left-right combination. Theophile and Ned. Umpire Byam is a standing umpire at this time, and the square leg appears to be Butler. So Byam and Butler, they will do the umpiring for this morning. And I just started with a slip. Man at third, man at point, a cover, mid on, mid off. First delivery, a straight delivery, down to third man. Very well saved there by Spencer. He just saved 4, and the Grenadine Divers, they're off the mark. Theophile, he also off the mark. Roxelle.
Yeah, traditionally one of the fastest strips here at Arnesville, and as you can see already, Ray Jordan into his work, hitting a really good length there, and I think he rushed the batsman there, and he did well to keep it out.
Well, he has to do very well, because this is the last game as the overseas player. He will want to leave the tournament on a high, to somewhat leave the selectors with his name in his mouth, as we will say, for the next, maybe for the 3.0.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, fast delivery, wrapping net for pace, as he was struck more likely on the upper part of his thigh. As you see, he's rubbing, the inner part of his thigh. They scamper through for 1. Well, actually comes off the bat, and very importantly, Ned is off the mark because there was no signal there. So Ned is off the mark. They're 2 without loss. Delivery down the left side. For 1, this could be close. Oh, Porcho.
Yeah, definitely Jordan is into his work. That second delivery was really, really close, and you can already see that this is going to be an excellent wicket over the next 2 days with the pace, and it's true as well, offers well for good cricket.
Well, as we give an early baptism here to Romel, as he's into the commentary booth, I say good morning to Romel, and it's good to see you. Oh, delivery, beating the outside edge there.
I think if we take away the wickets from those bowlers who have gotten leading, Ray Jordan for me would be up there in terms of the quality offered by the opening bowlers in this tournament.
And that is so because most of the tournament has been shadowed by spin bowling, and we haven't really seen the true potential of the pace bowlers, knowing the short version of the game. This one is whipped away off his pads, going down to wideish final leg, and he cleans up. We only settle for 1. Good, powerful return. And 5 without loss. We're into the first over, just on the brink of the first over. Quiet start, Roxelle.
Yes, and I believe this is what the grinding divers would have to do. Ray is a wicket-taking bowler. He's getting at you, and they would like to pick up as many runs as possible without losing a wicket.
So end of the first over is remain 5 without loss. Romel, how do you see this change in the order, putting Ned back up to the top? Knowing earlier in the tournament he opened with Captain Asif, and especially, what do you think? This is somewhat of a go-get runs kind of attitude.
All right. Good morning, Roxelle. Good morning, Casnell, and good morning to all the viewers viewing on Facebook or any other social media app. Kadu Ned, if my memory serves me right, used to open the batting for the Saltpond Breakers in the very first edition of this VPL, and I think he did reasonably well. He did reasonably well opening the batting with Sunil Ambry, so I was a bit surprised at the start of this tournament, at this edition, of the VPL, that he wasn't chosen to open the batting. But yeah, Kadu Ned is a kind of cricketer that's going to go. He's going to go until he gets out.
Well, Rashid Frederick, spin attack now takes up from the commentary booth end as a first delivery. Theophil misses that short ball, managed to get it onto his tie area. Signal leg by umpire Butler. As Ned comes into the strike. You were somewhat lost in the wind, Romel.
Yeah, a lot of rain where I am from in Acres, but it's bright sunshine down at Annisville. Thank God for that. Lovely cricket here at Annisville.
Ned heaved that one over the keeper's head. It's going out to the boundary, and a welcome boundary there for the Grenadine Divers. They off with their first national lottery, the boundary. As we see that attitude of Ned to go and get runs in the power play.
Yeah, Ned is going to continue playing like this. That's the kind of cricketer he is, especially given that Frederick's a left-arm spinner, bowling into Ned being a left-hander. So he's just going to go for his shots, his favourite areas, as we have seen before, long on and deep mid-wicket. But there's really nothing to lose, ain't it?
Well, it's a 5th and 6th position.
They haven't qualified, so they're just supposed to just go out and have fun and express themselves. And maybe that way they'll see a bit more success.
Well, but you will want to finish in a high note, and Ned this time heave it out to the mid-wicket boundary, or 6 runs. 6 runs, that one. That one was a bit on the rope. Williams, that is, Sealroy Williams, because there's a Seal Ron Williams that is playing, but Sealroy this time, that one just evades him a bit over the rope. 6 more. The first boundary, the first super 6, sorry, coming from the bat of Ned. Ned goes again, flick this one over square, behind square leg. It goes to the boundary, a national lottery treaty boundary, and also it's a no ball. It is a no ball, so a bit of untidy work here from Frederick to start.
Yeah, for a spinner, really, bowling no balls at this level is really unacceptable, especially if you're playing a 10-10. You really don't want to put your side at so much of a disadvantage. But Kadu Ned, that 6 earlier on, he really teased the fielder. He thought to himself that he had a chance there, but the wind carried it carried it over the boundary. But good shot nonetheless by Ned. That's the way he plays, as I said before. He's going to go, and he's going to go very hard towards the leg side.
The delivery, and that delivery, as you can see, the signal from the captain behind the stump, that's the area he wants him to bowl, because the field that is set is more of an offside field, and once you start to strip it down the middle area, and this one is cut to short third man, and once you start to stray down that middle to leg area with you being a left arm spinner, you're begging for that ball to be hit with just only 3 fielders on the outside.
Yeah, definitely. But I like the fact that Fredericks was bowling slowly. He was giving the ball time to turn. But what was wrong with that over was that he didn't get the correct lines and length. You know, it's important. Yes, you want to bowl slowly. Yes, you want to give the ball a bit of time to turn to possibly effect a wicket, LBW or bowl down. But the lines and lengths, they have to be spot on, especially in this format of the game T10 where the batsmen, more often than not, go for hell or broke.
Well, we see Nigel Small comes into the attack. Small, he that one down the ground. Goes through for one. Just settle for one. And so Ray Jordan is held back for a latter part of the innings with 1 over remaining for him. Small, somewhat slowing up the delivery. So I guess on this track, which is very fast, the pitch report was somewhat of a grassy. As this time, Theophil goes straight, hanging hard, and he deposits that one into the roof of the administrative center, just chucking the water gutters there, and that's a super 6 to Theophil.
Yeah, that was a beautiful shot by Theophil. It was floated right in his half there, and Theophil obliged, as he should have. And he did it extremely well. He kept his form. He did not try to overhit it at all. Beautiful shot by Theophil.
Well, Small will have to do some answering. This one he pushes back. And Rommel, the 4 Charlotte strikers, they seem to have a trend that they lose for a game in the start, and in the back end they kind of create some questions with their winning, as this one is played onto the leg side. 4 more runs, the National Lottery 3, the boundary, wide-ish of in front of square. We will say that shot, a bit of sloppy bowling there from Small.
Yep. In the power play, bowling in the power play, you really have to get things right earlier on, because if the batting team gets too much of a good start, you can find yourself at the back and always playing catch up. So it's important that whoever bowls in the power play.
This time again, he heaved that one high and hard over the mid-wicket boundary and deposited another super 6. We're really seeing an exciting game here of cricket as the umpire now confirms that 6. Theophil really taking a toll into Small.
If the batting team gets too much of a good start, you can find yourself at the back and always playing catch up. So it's important that whoever bowls in the power play.
This time again, he heaved that one high and hard over the mid-wicket boundary.
A bit flatter trajectory, sorry. Not allowing him to get so much on the front foot to dispatch him over the boundary. So you really have to be smart whenever you're bowling in the power play, because as I said before, what happens in the power play more often than not determines what kind of score the batting team ends up with. Alright, so the best bowlers, in my opinion, ought to be bowling in the power play. Not saying that Small is not a good bowler, because he has done the job reasonably well for the 4 Charlotte strikers, but consistency is the key. Yeah, you have to aim for those dot balls, because the batsmen, they are always going to come at you. They want to score. They're going to create chances. So it's up to you now to just try to bowl as much dot balls as possible. This is not a test match. This is a 10-10. Alright, so the more dot balls you bowl, the more likely your chances are of getting wickets. So that is what the bowlers are to aim for. Aim for those dot deliveries. Let the batsmen manufacture shots.
I'm very much surprised that we'll continue with the spin, but this time Ned goes high and hard and lofts that one almost into our area here, and that goes to another super 6. Boy, Ned is taking a toll into Frederick, and it's raining 6 here. It's just we are into over number 4, and boy, 45 without loss.
I get the feeling the 4 Charlotte strikers, they're not enthusiastic or as enthusiastic as they ought to be. They're still playing for 5th place position. This is a game of cricket, so they often, well, they ought to always put 100%. Fredericks throughout the tournament, he bowled well, but this game it gives me the impression that he's not feeling it as much. You know, he's experimenting too much because, like I said, throughout the tournament he bowled well, so he ought to continue with what he was doing. You know, not just come and just float it up there. He has to use a bit of guile, use a bit of...
This one is whipped away, out to the boundary, 1 bounce for 4. Ned moves on to 27 from 11 deliveries. A national lottery 3 the boundary again. As you rightly alluded, the modus operandi of the 4 Charlotte strikers is like they just hey.
Yeah, it's incumbent upon the captain now to have a word with Frederick. Say, hey, let's try something else. Why not bowl to an offside field? Bowl around the wicket and slant it across. Do something else.
This time again, Ned goes high and hard over the mid-wicket region. 6 more to Ned. Another super 6. 55 without loss. We're into over number 4. Well, it's an exciting day here for cricket. It's nothing to lose. Let's go with it.
It's raining boundaries. It's raining sixes. There's a massacre happening here at Annisfield, really.
Somewhat surprised that he did not really bring Spencer, medium pace on the track. Well, this time he heaved it over the long off boundary. That's another super 6. Boy, Rashid Frederick, that is been taking a toll here, and boy, isn't Ned taking a toll into him. 39 from 13 deliveries. We've seen 61 without loss. Well, what a start. This time he goes again high and hard over the mid-wicket region. The result remained the same. It's another 6. It is compelling cricket you're watching. It's 6 runs here from Ned. Ned moves on to 45.
Well, just a correction. The umpire, if I'm not mistaken, has just signaled dead ball. I don't know the reason for signaling dead ball, but the umpire has signaled dead ball. Kadri Ned will not be happy about that, certainly after hitting that lovely shot.
Oh.
But Fredericks has a chance to make amends.
Well, make amends. Well, he will make up for it. Just the same result. He will make up for it. This time, it is a conformative 6 and 6 runs down the ground. Well, this time he really moves on to 45.
Well, this has to be the best power play we have seen so far in the tournament. 67 without loss, still 1 ball to go in the power play. A run rate of 17.4. This is massacre, man.
As a captain, Romel, you've been a captain yourself. What ploy do you think this time struck down the ground? A rarity of that ball is something that you will welcome. This is what you call a diamond delivery at this point. End of the power play, we are 67 without loss. Theophil on the quiet end is 20 from 10 deliveries, and Ned is 45 from 15. Boy, that current run rate is some 16.75. We're going just over a 17. We're looking at a 17, but we'll settle for a 16.75. Fredericks is being treated roughly there by Ned. From his 2 overs, 44.
Yeah, the 4 Charlotte strikers, they need somebody to motivate them, and that's the job of the captain, Gideon Pope. Yeah, it seems as though he's just going through the motions, but you really have to put your best foot forward every time you step onto the cricket field. The score is 67 without loss after 4.
As this one, Lavia comes into the attack, and rightly expected, Theophil pushes that one into the somewhat in front of point, and they run 2 for 1. Brings back Ned into the strike. He's on 45 from 15. Wide delivery confirmed there by umpire Byam. Wide pushes the total to 69. 69 without loss. Captain Asif will be proud of the start. Confident start.
Yeah, a beautiful start there for the Grenadine Divers. Pushed primarily by Ned.
What a shot! You only could find the man at the cover boundary. They come back for 2 on the misfield. So it appears as just the body language of the 4 Charlotte Strikers is not into the game as yet. At what point do you think they can get into the game?
Well, it has to be led by the captain. You know, the captain really has to be the motivating factor in any cricket game.
And wide down the leg side by Lavier. Confirmed there by umpire Byam. And we see that the only person that's really doing some motivatory speech there is Rickford Walker. He's at short, well, somewhat of a silly mid-off area. Mid-on, sorry. This time it goes down the ground. Rain number we will call in his score sheet a 1, a single. They were glad to see Ned off the strike.
Yeah, but when you look at Ned, he's scored 48 of 17. It kind of makes Teofil look like he's going like a slouch, but he hasn't been doing too bad either. He has 21 of 11, almost going at a strike rate of 200. Just mean that Ned has been so dominant with the batting, especially when he faced Fredericks, who I thought really wasn't putting enough impetus in his bowling. He wasn't showing the enthusiasm that he had showed throughout the tournament.
Oh, this time Teofil wants to go straight, misses that one. There have been a lot of viewers around the world who've been tuned into this VPL T10 cricket competition, DREAM11, Romel. A lot of people are excited about the game, and a friend of mine in the Bahamas said they woke up in the morning looking forward for cricket. Say good morning to our friends down there in Bahamas.
Well, it is very welcoming given the fact that COVID-19 has been around and it has hampered a number of activities, especially sporting activities. So people are eager to have a look at cricket, any sort of cricket. T10 cricket, of course, being probably one of the newer versions that we have seen. So yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting, especially with what has transpired throughout the world. I'm happy to be here, actually.
Well, Ned pulls this one. Could be taken. Well, he's dropping short of the man at mid-wicket as Rashid. He could not have reached there on that delivery. So it's end of the over, end of the 5th over. Somewhat of a quiet one, we will say, in retrospect to the power play. 75 without loss. The current run rate is 15. Ned on 49. Teofil 22 from 13.
Well, if they continue going like this, and I don't see any reason why they should try to slow down, we might just see a record. I think the highest score in the tournament thus far has been 140 odd or something like that. They are going at 15. If they continue, like I said, they would get up to 150. But they do have 10 wickets in hand. Ned is in blistering form. Teofil not doing too bad either when you look at the numbers there. So yeah, it augurs good for the Grenadine Divers going forward. In the hut they have Captain Asif Hoop, and we all know that he can really give it a whack. So it'll be interesting to see how the 4 Charlotte Strikers slow things down here.
Okay. And Stowe comes into the attack. Was run out, extracting a run out there. And Romel, when we look at that, brings up the 50 there for Ned. 50 comes up there for Ned from just 19 balls. Very well played there by Ned. When we look at Ned, the 50 is welcome. It's not too late. It is a welcome 50, but I am somewhat surprised that Ned knows his reputation. We also in St. Vincent here do know the reputation of Ned, but he have not been treated in terms of finding a solid position to bat where he's comfortable, because at times he comes in when there are some low totals and he's playing his wrong game. Wide signal by umpire.
A fair point, but it was kind of difficult too, yes, because in the very first edition of the tournament, I remember Grenadine Divers, their captain Asif Hooper did extraordinarily well as an opener, so it was...
Well, Teofil is back home safe.
So yeah, it was difficult for the Grenadine Divers because you can't just look at the opening positions. You have to also consider the middle order, because so often when teams lose the top order, the middle order struggles. So you really have to have a balancing kind of thing going there. And I guess that is why Asif Hooper and the captain Ian Allen chose to have Ned bat a bit lower down the order in the middle parts to try to buttress the middle order, if you will. You know, but I guess that didn't work too well for them.
Well, to ask umpire Butler questions, umpire Butler have no interest in that, as this can put you for a leg by. Brings the total now to 80 without loss. Ned 50, Teofil 24. High commendation coming in for a lot of good cricket that has been played here. See a lot of persons tweeting and using the social media platform for the VPL. This one is tugged away to the mid-wicket region. What do you think should be the approach of the Grenadine Divers now? Setting a good base total. Should they continue with the momentum of going for the big shots, or just trying to secure until the back end, maybe the 7th, 8th over?
Well, we have 10 wickets in hand. After this delivery, they will have 24 deliveries in which to bat. In my opinion, they ought to just keep going and keep going as hard as possible. Remember I said before, they have Asif Hooper in the hut. They have one or two other batsmen who are quite capable of dispatching the balls to the boundaries. So keep going. These two batsmen are in form. No reason for them to try to slow down now.
Teofil listens, deposit that one, a super 6, another super 6, a welcome super 6, and boy oh boy, it's raining, really raining sixes here in a hot condition, and it's 88 without loss, something we very rarely see with team totals. 88 without loss. We're into over number 6. Well, at the end of over number 6, Teofil on 30, Ned 51. The current run rate at 14.67.
They've slowed down a little bit when you consider what happened in the power play. The Pacers, in my estimation, have done pretty decent. Nigel Small, he went for a few. He's a spinner. We saw what happened to Fredericks. So yeah, the Pacers have pulled back things quite a bit. So the 4 Charlotte strikers, they just have to keep believing, because one wicket can slow things down considerably, and one wicket begs another and another. So they really need to get wickets here. Thomas, as if my memory serves me well, bowled pretty well for them thus far. So he should be believing in his ability to get wickets here.
Well, first delivery Shortish. If I was in his last game, he picked up 3 wickets, and it's sort of a restricted. Same Grenadine Divers, well, the Explorers it was against. Picked up 3 wickets. And Romel, the 4 Charlotte Strikers, they have a lot of bowlers in their artillery. Would you have opted for Rashid to give him a second over after he's been cheated with that kind of in the first one? They still have Spence, the medium pacer. This one tugged down. They have Stowe. Now with this Stowe bowl, somewhat of a quiet over from that 6 that he was pulled down here. So when the opening bowler of Jordan started, he gave us a quiet over. Would you have opted for a second over with Rashid than to somewhat experiment with your other bowlers, give them a feel of it?
Well, from the first over Rashid bowl, I thought his body language was not right for a bowler to be bowling in the power play. So I really would have chosen somebody else, to be honest.
This one pulled away in the mid-wicket region. Again.
I was a bit surprised I am a bit surprised that Thomas hasn't bowled a lot in the tournament thus far, because from the few games he has bowled, he has done extraordinarily well. He has good lines and lengths. He seems always to be bowling to a plan, which is good, which is what you need in T10.
I think he was injured. He had a slight injury, and he has somewhat recovered from the injury. He was injured in the Neil Williams. Just a slight injury, nothing of great concern. But he didn't want to really stretch it too much. Somebody like a Darius Martin, as we see, we haven't seen him in the whole tournament. He has an injury, which have ruled him out for selection. As the same net swings it high and hard over mid-wicket, it goes for 6 more runs. Another super 6. It's 98 without loss. Can we see the first 100 partnership for the tournament so far?
Well, the way things are going, you're more than likely to see that. You're more than likely to see that, because Ned is in a no-nonsense mode. The fielders in the circle or on the circle, so there are singles to be had in case a good delivery is bowled. So there's no reason why we shouldn't see it. But Ned and Teofield, they're not going to be looking for any singles at all. They'll be looking for the big boundaries. They have 98 on the board, 3 overs left, 18 balls, or 18 legal balls. Teofield is on the go. He will look to take advantage of Stowe. Stowe was hit for a beautiful 6 in the last over by Teofield. I'm sure he would look to replicate that sort of shot, and so would Ned.
Stowe continues. This one is pulled to the mid-wicket boundary. Another boundary, National Lottery 3. The boundary brings up the 100. 102 without loss. The Grenadine Divers, they're really taking a deep dive here up the hills of Fort Charlotte. But boy, oh boy, oh boy. Stowe continuing, but the run flow is just a continuation from what we see from the second over. Slower delivery.
Really hemorrhaging here before Charlotte Strikers.
It will be amazing to see the approach of the 4 Charlotte Strikers when it comes out to bat. 103 with some 16 delivery remaining. Oh, that one misses the off stump. As Really see some breeze blowing across the playing field. Strong breeze. It's not extremely hot, but it's hot enough that the players must get some water. But with that gentle breeze that is blowing across, this is something that they will fancy at this time to cool down. Good condition for cricket, Ronald.
Yeah, as you said, it's not too hot. It's quite windy actually. So it's a lovely condition for cricket, in my opinion. The Pacers are bowling well, relatively speaking, of course. The batsmen are doing extremely well. You know, they're on the go, 13.43 runs, run rate.
This one is pulled. So somewhat of a three dot balls we're seeing there. As Ned is on 59.
Well, Ned seems to be backing away too much from the deliveries. He needs to get a bit closer to the ball because Stowe is angling it across him, bowling outside the off stump.
This one is down the leg side.
Commentators curse, eh? The minute you speak positively about the bowler, the next delivery, that bowler bowls something completely awry to what you were saying, you know? That's the way it is.
Had you called for a wicket, would it have been a wicket? So he struck down the ground. Well, a sloppy piece of work there. Sloppy piece of cricket there from the 4 Charlotte strikers, allowing them to scamper 2 for 2. At the end of the 8th over, it's 106 without loss. Can we see all 10 wickets at the end of these 10 overs?
Well, put it this way, they have 12 balls in which to bowl. The good thing for 4 Charlotte strikers, Jordan has the ball in hand. He's known to bowl some good searing Yorkers at the stumps. I'm not sure if he'll be looking to bowl them wide of the wicket or attack the stumps directly. But he is pretty much their stellar bowler. He has been for a while. So we should expect not more than 10 runs from this over, given what Jordan has done in the past.
Delivery, please, out to the point boundary. So it's fielded.
Well, Ned, I'm sure, is going to have a different idea. He's not going to slow down. He's going to aim for that long
there's always a
deep
banter
mid-wicket
between
area.
Ned and...
Yes. But I think the line ought to be by Jordan's. The line ought to be wide Yorkers because we've seen so far that Ned doesn't really get across to the deliveries. He waits for those straight deliveries and those deliveries going on leg. So if Jordan slants it across, bowlers wide Yorkers, I don't think Ned would get himself in a proper enough position to dispatch the balls to the boundary. Jordan is quite capable. He has shown that throughout the tournament, so I wouldn't be surprised if he executes well.
What a shot down the ground. Managed to get one. Slight misfield, but I've not capitalized on it as they had already settled somewhat for the one.
And that is what Jordan has to do. He has to force Ned and Teofield to play outside of their comfort zone. You know, Ned for one, he likes it close to his body. He's not really an offside player to note. You know, Teofield is a bit more accomplished. He can play on the offside and on the onside. He being, of course, a first-class player.
Well, we see somewhat of a pull back in the total. It's now down to just under 13. Something that the 4 Charlotte strikers will welcome. We were looking somewhat of a 140.
Truth be told, Casnell, when I made my opinion known in terms of what the total would most likely be, I forgot that John had one more over in the bag. So I may have to revise that a bit downward because I really don't see Ned, even though he has been going extremely well, I really don't see Ned taking advantage of Jordan as long as Jordan keeps bowling those wide Yorkers.
All right, we'll see. Oh, what a take! What a take! Well saved by the keeper. Great delivery. That Yorker you're talking about, well, this one is into the pads of Ned. Someone have to take some evasive action to get away from that Yorker.
And just to give the viewers an idea of how Jordan bowls, the speed at which he bowls, he has been known to clock in excess of 90 miles per hour. So this is not any slow bowling by any measure. You know, Jordan, he was part of the West Indies under-19 team. He himself is a first-class player. We saw him in the CPL on more than one occasions, bowling balls in excess of 90 miles per hour. So he's not a slow bowler at all. So that is why I stressed upon him bowling those wide Yorkers, because I know it would have been difficult for batsmen to get under them.
Oh, another wide delivery. Somewhat wideish, yeah. So it's 109 ran to over number 9. Ned 62 from 31. Theophil 39 from 33. Somewhat of a welcome pullback by the Fort Charlotte strikers with the pace of which they were going. This one heave it down the ground and it goes to 6 runs. Well, 6 runs to end the over, to bring over number 9, 115 without loss. Yes, you're seeing that correct. 115 without loss. Theophil 39 and Ned 68.
Well, even if you're bowling in excess of 90, if you miss your line, because to me that was really just a nice half volley in Ned's arc. I'm not sure if Jordan got a bit greedy and tried to look for the wicket there. But really, he really should have kept to the wide Yorkers, because we all knew that Ned would have gone, regardless, would have gone for the delivery. So the bowlers, Lave is about to bowl the last over. His main aim should be to just bowl dot balls, not to get greedy.
Dot balls?
Dot balls. Because the batsmen, they're going to come after it. There's six balls remaining, 10 overs, 10 wickets in hand. So you don't try to get a wicket.
I'm not trying to discredit the bowler, but I mean,
dot balls.
Yeah, in this time, you have all 10 wickets in hand. There will be a rarity of a dot ball.
I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but you have to try.
Well, let's see.
Highly unlikely.
Highly unlikely with Theophil on strike. Let's see. So it's Lavier. Wide delivery. So clearly we are seeing what will be the plan there to bowl wide of the off stump, somewhat of a 5th stump area, but you cannot go to the 6th because there will be signal a wide. So Lavier showing his intent, and I think Theophil, aware of it, he's somewhat swinging at that one, but swing and a miss. This time straight onto his body. Thomas coming off the bunk, it cleans it up. So 1 to start the over. Would you, as a captain, Romel, be satisfied 117 going, knowing the start that they had at 75 without loss in the 5th over? Wide-ish delivery, confirmed wide there by the umpire, Butler.
Well, yes, given the start, you would have expected the batting team to get a little bit more than where they are now. But you would expect also your fielders to be a bit more into the game, your team to be a bit more into the game, and you as a captain, you have to lead by the front.
Straight to delivery, down to Wildish.
You have to lead by example. You have to be the motivating factor in any game, because yes, things are going against the four Charlotte strikers. But Gideon Pope, he has to take the mantle. He has to encourage. He has to try to get the players to believe, yes, we can do it. Yes, we can pull things back. And I don't think he was up to the task this morning at all.
That's a fine shot in the air. It's coming out to us down here at the commentary end. It is deposited for another Super 6 into the 10th over, 125 without loss.
Excellent, excellent shot there by Teofil. Lavia just erred a bit by getting a bit too close to Teofil and not executing the Yorker as he would have liked. And Teofil was capable enough to take full advantage of that delivery.
What do you think the manager, the coach, will have to say to the four Charlotte Strikers players going into the innings break? Short delivery, pulled away. Thomas in the mid-wicket region is set for one. Oh, slight misfield, could be another run. Oh, they get through for two. Just a sloppy cricket there from the keeper a bit, I will say.
Yeah, they've really been despondent throughout the game. And the Grenadine Divers are lapping it up. They're taking full advantage. Teofil and Ned, they have had a wonderful time of their batting.
So we can see Ned coming up to 50. Ned pulls this one high and over the mid-wicket region, brings up a 50 for Teofil. He's on 54, a welcome 50 at the end of the tournament. Something he would have wanted higher up in the tournament.
Yeah. That was really, really a magnificent shot. He got high on it and he pulled it viciously to the mid-wicket bungle. Beautiful shot by Teofil. Something that we all expect from Teofil when he's batting. Well, that was the last delivery of the innings. A bit tapered off into a mellow finish, if you will, getting one run off the final delivery after Teofil hit that magnificent six of the penultimate delivery of the innings. There it is. A lovely, lovely shot by Teofil.
Well, if you are just turning on your television and you see 134 without loss, it is something truthful. It's in the 10 overs. The Grenadine Divers, they took a toll into the four Charlotte Strikers from the second over. It was disdained from that time. And the Grenadine Divers, well, yes, you're seeing it right there. Teofil, 55 from 28 deliveries. Ned, 69 from 33 deliveries. They reached a total of 134 without loss. The first time for this version of the VPL. Boy, oh boy, just 10 extras. It was just disdained batting, Romel.
It was carnage, really. It was downright carnage. It was not helped by the body language of the four Charlotte Strikers at all. But like I said, Teofil and Kadeem Ned, they were able to take full advantage of that. The paces I thought for the four Charlotte Strikers bowled well enough relative to the spinners. Fredericks, he was massacred, especially in that last over, going 2 for 44 runs. Jordan was exceptional, really, really exceptional. It's unfortunate I was hit for 6 of the last delivery of his 2 overs. Small got a hammering as well. Lavier, as he's a pacer, he bowled well, relatively speaking. Stowe, a pacer, he bowled relatively well. Thomas going for 10. In the context of how things have gone so far, that wasn't too bad. But the four Charlotte Strikers, they have a job to do. They have to make 135. The pressure shouldn't be so much on them, right? So they should feel a bit more relaxed because they have already not made the playoffs. So the batsmen really should go out there, express themselves. It will be nice to see Gideon Pope return to some sort of form. He has really struggled throughout this tournament and the last. He was really a prodigious striker, a prodigious youngster when he was growing up. A lot was spoken of him in a positive way. But yeah, really looking forward to see what the Fort Charlotte Strikers come up with this afternoon. Their overseas player, he has done well for them. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, the overseas player for the Fort Charlotte Strikers would look to continue with his power hitting. He has done well for them. But a disappointing tournament, I would say, for the Fort Charlotte Strikers. They never really got going, except maybe the last 3 games or last 2 games before this game here, where they showed that they had some plan, they had something about them. Yeah, but hopefully in the next edition of the VPL, they would go back to the drawing board, reassessed, and come much better.
Well, we are going to a short break. It's a time for a Containers Delight break. We will be back shortly in this DREAM11 VPL live from the Allensville playing field, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, bringing you more flavor and more vibes.
Few explorers, the Grenadines divers, Fort Charlotte Strikers. Somebody celebrate your team. Last team Hinkers, the Southbound Breakers, Botanic and Rangers. It's from the bleachers we would see. VPL is more flavor, more vibe. VPL that bring the stadium alive. VPL, this is the joy of we life. It's the Vincy Premier League. The few explorers, the Grenadines divers, Fort Charlotte Strikers. Somebody celebrate your team. Last team Hinkers, the Southbound Breakers, Botanic and Rangers. It's from the bleachers we would see. VPL is more flavor, more vibe. VPL that bring the stadium alive. VPL, this is the joy of we life. It's the Vincy Premier League. few explorers, the grenades divers, 4 charlotte strikers. Somebody celebrate your team. Last 2 breakers, the Southbound breakers, Botanic and Rangers. It's from the bleachers we would see. VPL
It's more flavor, more vibes.
VPL
That bring the stadium alive.
VPL
This is the joy of we life.
It's the Vincy Premier League.
Hills, mountains, high. Man, woman, shy. Brown, Vincy, hands up high. And let me hear you say.
So welcome back to the Annisville playing field. It's welcome back to the DREAM11 VPL cricket tournament. And boy, if you had missed it, the first innings of the 4 Charlotte Strikers bowling, they were really put to the sword. We still have Romel with us here. Romel, compelling cricket, something you will pay money to see.
Yeah, it was really some excellent hitting by Tearfield and Kadeu Ned. They took advantage of any loose delivery bowled by the 4 Charlotte Strikers, and they did bowl many loose deliveries, to be honest, more so the spinners. So 134 without loss was the Grenadine Divers. They should be extremely happy. They should be confident enough to defend the score. But interestingly, I see Pope. He has gone back to the top of the innings where he started in the earlier part of the tournament. So he should try to replicate what Ned and Tearfield did for the Grenadine Divers. Also is Walker, also an opening batsman for the police team. He is known to be a big hitter. He has not had the best of tournaments thus far, neither has Pope. But they should make amends. They should look to make amends. No pressure on them. Go out and have fun, enjoy it, and play smart cricket.
So first up, he's down the track. I was asking before we went for the innings break, what do you think would be the word of the manager, the coach for the 4 Charlotte Strikers on their return to the crease? So this pulled away. So Stowe is off the mark. So off the mark.
Well, they just have to enjoy their cricket, really. They just have to go out and have fun, play smart cricket. Don't put pressure on yourself and express themselves. I was happy to see Gideon he advanced down the wicket the very first delivery. So that is showing that he's enthusiastic about batting. He's showing some impetus already.
So it's Pope and Walker, sorry, not Stowe. Pope and Walker. And Walker now comes in to strike. High and hard down the ground, straight going out to the boundary. Clean up there by Abraham. And Walker gets off the strike. Romel, do you think it should be the same approach as the 4 Charlotte Strikers? Because in doing so, the fortunes that may have gone to the side of the Grenadine Divers may just not fall on the fortunes of the 4 Charlotte Strikers batting.
Well, they would want to take advantage of the power play, but it's important that they don't lose any sort of wicket here. They have to play smart cricket. The wicket is not bad to bat on, as we have seen. So runs is there to be had.
And the communication between Walker and Pope, they have not really batted together so much in the tournament in terms of the top order. So it will be interesting to see how they communicate with singles and that sort of thing.
Well, Pope is not the fastest of runners, neither is Walker. So you don't expect to see a lot of twos or a lot of quick singles. They might try, but you don't expect to see it happen too often. But nonetheless, the Grenadine Divers, they have started pretty well. Hooper, only 3 runs coming from that over. Right away, the Fort Charlotte Strikers, they are behind the 8 ball, so they would want to catch up, if you will. I see Abraham. Abraham is coming to bowl the next over. Right arm off spinner. He has done fairly well for the Grenadine Divers. He will be taking the ball away from Gideon Pope. I suspect that he would look to bowl just about 1.5 feet outside off stump, because we all know Gideon's strengths. He likes to hit to the onside, mid-wicket, mid-on area. Well, at least I think that should be the line. I don't know what he is going to bowl, but that ought to be the line in my estimation.
Well, remember later on today at 1, we have eliminator number 2, the Botanic Garden Rangers. They will be coming up against the SouFrier Hinkers. They will be playing for a spot into the finals, as this one is tugged into the mid-wicket region. And they will get through it 1. And the later also, all weekend, the finals are Saturday today. 2 matches, as we're seeing the first match here. And today is the kids' day, Romel. Bouncing castles, rock climbing, cotton candies and popcorn. Children under 14 are free to come in. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, this is lovely setup with cotton candy, bouncing castles. A nice day for the family, ain't it? A lovely, lovely day for the family.
Well, heaved and bowled him. Played on delivery. Rickford looking to heave that one and get his total going. But in doing so, he only manages to play that one onto the stumps. Rickford wanted to draw first blood.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, really. I really wanted to see Rickford Walker settle in, but he wasn't able to do so at this time. He hasn't done so really throughout the tournament, unfortunately. He really is a decent hitter of the ball. The scores that he has had thus far is not a true reflection of how well he can bat. But nonetheless, we see Kato coming into the wicket. In the last 2 or so games, he has had a decent outing. So you would expect him to want to capitalize here. He is early, facing the 9th or the 10th delivery of the innings. A good chance for him to settle down and really get himself in.
Well, if you want to settle in, you will have to also come again tomorrow, where we'll see the finals. Much intriguing finals. The Southern Breakers, they have already been seating, waiting the eliminator winner of today's game. As we see, Kato comes off the strike with a single. Quiet second over here, 5 for 1. As we see tomorrow's matches, we will see the President 11 playing the 3rd place team, which is the team that whoever wins with the Botanic Garden Rangers and the SouFrier, the loser of that one will play the President 11 tomorrow. And the VPL final, that will start at 1, but we will also have live performances by Royal Madzad, Chanel McKenzie, Seated, the Lyrical Diva, Dimes and the Pixel. So they will be here performing live tomorrow. Remember, you can get an all-weekend pass for local persons here. And if you decide, you have already finished your quarantine, you want to come down to the cricket, weekend pass today and tomorrow is just $20 coming to the playing field. So you can also come and enjoy some entertainment.
On the cricket side of things, the Fort Charlotte Strikers, they haven't started well at all. There are only 6 runs on the board, 8 overs remaining in which to get 129 to win. So they really, really have to get going. Gideon Pope, he has to get going. He has to break those shackles.
What do you think would be the modus operandi of the Fort Charlotte Strikers management team and coach? What do you think will be the strategy going into the 3.0? Because some people say that cricket is play. The coaches and the managers, they would have their strategy. They would have their strategy, and they would want to say, well, okay, the cricketers, they are the one playing the cricket out there. We can only give you the plans and the how to execute. Well, they are competing. So I will take that question when you are free to answer. But at this time, we will see Cato now on strike. Heave down the ground. It's over the rope. A super six, a welcome super six by the overseas player Cato. He moves on to 7-13 for 1.
Yeah, well, Cato should fancy this sort of bowling. Asif Hooper is a left-arm spinner, angling the ball into Cato. Cato, of course, being a right-handed batsman, but Asif, he's not really a turn of the ball, so you don't expect the ball to turn. And the ball is new, so he's just going to slant in. Unless, of course, Asif slows it down and gives the ball time to turn. But normally he doesn't really do that. He aims for the stump more often than not. So Cato just went with the line of the delivery and was successful in hitting it over the boundary for 6. Pope, on the other hand, he should be better placed, even though he'll be hitting to the eastern side of the ground.
This time Pope pulls it away over the top. A 6 runs. Welcome 6 there by Pope into the wind this time. But he was able to manage to just get it over the rope for super 6.
Yep. He really has to continue. 20 for 1 over number 3. You have a long way to go, but not impossible.
And that brings up the 278 sixes that have been hitting the tournament so far from just some 27 matches, Romel. That's a lot of 6 to be hitting.
Yeah, a lot of 6. This is not a small field by any stretch of the imagination. I know hearing the number of 6s being hit, you might say, hey, you played in a very, very small field, but the boundaries are international size.
The center one is heaved down the ground. Abraham comes off the boundary, cleans it up. End of the over. Over number 3. It's 22 for 1. K2 on 9. Pope on 12.
Yeah, a much better over there from the 4 Charlotte Strikers, getting 16 runs off of it. They have to go much more than that in order for them to, give themselves a chance of even getting close to 134. 1 over left in the power play. You really have to take advantage of this.
Well, Abraham continues from the commentary booth end. This time heaves over. Man, coming out to the boundary. And a welcome boundary, National Lottery 3, the boundary by Cato there, 26 for 1.
Yeah, good shot there by Cato. He didn't try to overhit it. Played the ball and its merit. The statistician just told me there at this stage, at the end of the 3rd over, the Grenadine Divers were 39 without loss, not too far off.
It would be amazing to see how Wiley bowls his leg spin on this shot.
But it was at this juncture that Rashid Fredericks had that injudicious over, I would say, where he was clobbered.
Well, clobbered. Clobbered is this one. I think he's over the stand. That's gone for another super 6. A magnificent shot. That's gone for 6. It's out of here. We'll have to call the third umpire to bring some other balls here, because that one have been cheated with this taint.
Yeah, I think that deserved 12, to be honest. That would have been 6 in another park. If you added another park beyond the boundary of Annisville, that still would have gone for 6. That was powerfully hit by Cato.
Well, luckily the spider cam wasn't in its way, because it really orbited and deposited way behind us here at the commentary booth. It's a mighty struck delivery. Well,
and that's the difference between the batting of Kato and the batting of Pope. Yeah, Kato, he looked to hit it straight. He looked to hit it in the direction in which the ball demanded it to be hit. Pope, on the other hand, he seems kind of one trajectory, aiming for the long on or mid wicket area, not seeming to want to go over the offside at all.
Well, good comeback delivery there from Abraham. Abraham has been a very disciplined bowler. He knows his job. He's a very talented cricketer. He also plays football, so he's an all-round athlete. He plays very well for the police this time. This one is tugged down to the man on the boundary. He gets one. And something you've been alluded to, you see maybe at the point of contact, it appears that Pope is somewhat with that bat turn, is turning in his hand. This time short, pull away. There is no man at fine leg. This time deposit for another super six. 40 for one. Kato, he's on 13. Pope, sorry, is on 13. Kato is on 26. We're really seeing a treat being given here by the overseas players. And in this regard, it is Kato.
Yeah, Kato is leading the way. He's leading the way for the four Charlotte Strikers. He has gone quite a click, 26 from 9 deliveries. They will need to continue in this vein. At this juncture, you normally see batting teams slow down, because obviously the field would have been spread. 5 men, I believe, are allowed out the circle after the 4 overs. But the 4 Charlotte Strikers, they don't have the luxury of slowing down at all. Well, as long as they hope to get to 135, they don't have the luxury, so they have to keep going. They certainly have the power. We have seen what Kato can do. We know what Pope can do, but he just has to find the timing and the belief to do it himself. The divers, they've employed a pacer. First pacer of the day. Judging from the first innings, we saw the pacers doing slightly better than what the spinners did. So interesting to see. It's Brown, it is. Yes, Brown, one of the 5 Brown brothers, known throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines as decent, a little bit more than decent cricketers.
Well, just a solitary wicket for the 4 Charlotte Strikers that have been lost in the foreplay. They are 40 for 1, and we're seeing Brown, as you rightly said, they require some 95 from 36 deliveries. So Brown starts with a wide to open his account.
Well, at this juncture, at the end of the power play, the Grenadine divers were 67 without loss. So a very big difference, a difference of 27 runs there. But nonetheless, I think Brown has the right idea, bowling to Gideon Pope. He's going to keep it outside off stump.
And we need to note that Gideon has not really been in much form. So what he needs to do is just get off and let Kato take advantage of whatever he can. That's when he tugged it into Wildish. They're coming back for second. Wildish made off, that is.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Gideon, he hasn't been in the best of form, and Kato seems to be going quite well. He's been hitting it well in the last couple of games, and he has started out extremely well thus far. So if I were Gideon Pope,
so when he pulls it over mid-wicket, this time it deposits into the boundary. 4 runs. Boy, what a shot.
Right. Gideon seems to be intent on beating his way to form. Well shot delivery, in my opinion. Bad delivery by Brown, but Pope was good enough to execute that pull shot over mid-wicket. And it cannoned into the boundary for 4. Beautiful delivery. And this is what we expect from Gideon Pope. You know, he's not a man that is short of talent at all, but he just has to perform.
Slower delivery, hit down the ground. Well, that one evades the Captain Asif on a spin. We would say, as you see, that he somewhat run past the delivery, the ball, and he had to make a stretch, but that one passed him into the boundary again. 4 more runs to Pope.
Yep, they just got to keep on going. They just have to believe there's 51 for 4.4 overs. Just keep going. The wicket is decent. Lovely wicket for batting. Just keep expressing yourself.
Another wide there by Brown. So he cuts it to him on that point to his Brown brother. Do you see, as a captain, if you were playing with all these Bronx, that you would have mixed them up, or you would have called Razim, Dean, Razim, except for Salva, he's the only Bronx on the last of the Hinkers. So when he swing and a miss.
Well, the Browns, they're brothers, but they don't look so much alike that you'll get confused. Yeah. But they are a talented bunch, in my opinion. Salvan Brown, I know, played for St. Vincent and the Grenadines for a number of years. He had a brief stint at the first class level. So there is talent there. He's the older one, I think, mind you. The younger ones are now coming through.
He will boast he's the best Brown in batting. Well, we will see Wiley coming from the commentary booth and we will see leg spin for the first time. Right arm leg spinner. It will be interesting to see how Kato plays this on this track. The pitch report was somewhat grassy. I'm not too sure. Well, with this being a very pacey track, to see if we would extract bounce as well from it. He being a tall gentleman with a high arm action somewhat. It will really be interesting to see how he competes with his leg spin.
Well, while he's not really a big turn of the deliveries, he has variation. He mixes them up.
Oh, Kate almost find himself wanting a leg by signal there by umpire Butler. He's just dragging down, just carelessly, until you have to take notes. You got to get in the crease quickly.
Yeah. I think this sort of bowling might be more accepted in a more welcoming fashion by Gideon Pope than the other bowlers. I'll tell you why. Wiley, yes, he doesn't turn the ball much, but he is a leg spinner. And Gideon Pope will be hitting to the western side of the ground, assisted ably by wind. So he should fancy himself. He has changed his bat, so the intentions should be clear, and you know that he's going to go to the on side, mid-on, mid-wicket. He's a strong bloke, so he's not going to be afraid. Certainly not. So Wiley has to keep it wide of our stump.
As you rightly said, this one is plugged down to the ball. Go for one. I want to get one. Are you skeptic about changing bats? What do you think? Or what's your theory about changing bats? If one is not knocking, what if that one knocks well? Down the ground. Good quiet over so far by Wiley.
Well, a change bat as the need arises. I have no special superstition in respect to changing of bats.
Delivery Down the left side, seems to have clipped him on his way through. Away, high and over cover. He caught that one. 6 runs. What a shot by Kato that is.
That was a powerful shot by Kato. He waited in it, and he just launched into it. He gave it his all, and that was beautifully executed. Well timed by Kato.
Such a quiet over so far until that short delivery. Someone pulled down into the track. Lofted delivery, had some flight on it. He's going into the wind, but the wind is not a factor this time. It is still 6 more runs. Another welcome 6 by Kato.
Oh, beautiful. I'm really enjoying this batting here by by Kato. He seems to be a very accomplished batsman. I've seen him a couple of times playing first-class cricket. I've always been impressed with his the way he has executed his shots. And I'm even more so impressed here today. He never seems to be in that much of a hurry. He seems to have a lot of time on his hands. Yes, he's batting spin, but the way he executes it, he doesn't really try to overhit it, and the ball carries very far whenever he middles. So, certainly one for the future, Kato.
Well, Kato, he's on 38 from 14 deliveries. I do fancy that Pope, he needs to give Kato more of the strike if he's not really middling, as we will see, that ball, and get the blood flow. And we will see Teofil now comes into the attack quite late for what we are expected. Very exciting matchup coming up next with the Botanic Garden Rangers. They will play the SouFrier Hinkers. Very intriguing game that will be, Romel. It will be somewhat of a do-or-die situation for both teams. This time down the ground by Pope brings Kato into strike. And I think the Botanic Garden Rangers, they will be disappointed in the position that they are now. As we were alluding to earlier up in the tournament, they started on a winning way, and now they have to be vying for a position where they are trying to play to be seated in the finals. Have to be at the top of the play as this one is struck outside. 6 more runs. Kato comes into the party, and he really starts this party that we are going to have later on. And boy,
well, like I said, Kato is the man. And I think he's going to look to take advantage of Teofil. Teofil bowling off breaks. Yes, he's bowling from around the wicket, which more often than not negates the possibility of getting LBW decisions. Not impossible, but it makes it just a little bit harder. But Kato should fancy his chances here. The wicket, like I said, is playing well. Not much turn, if any at all. So as long as the ball comes in his arc, he's just going to go.
Some 62 required from 22 balls. This one is sweet, fine, short, fine leg. It comes out to the boundary. 4 more runs to Kato, sorry. And that goes to National at 3 boundary. Brings up the 54. Kato 48, that is, and we have seen that he's raising his bat.
It's 48, according to what we are seeing here, off 16 deliveries. That's the important thing. They need 58 runs off 21 deliveries. Once Kato's there, anything is possible.
Right. Well, this time, what a mighty blow that is. That one is struck high and hard over the president's suite. Boy, he took some toll into that one. It's a gigantic shot. Well, that one had a lot of muscle into it.
That was beautiful, and I do hope that the officials in the CPL and other T20 leagues are watching this, because Kato is really showing he's showing class. The way he has been hitting these deliveries, and he's not over-hitting them by any stretch of the imagination. he's batting beautifully. He has read what the bowler, what the bowlers, not just Tearfield, he's reading what the bowlers are doing, and he's adjusting beautifully. And he's middling the balls. Oh, Cato, he really is a special form. It's just unfortunate that he wasn't able to get, come into the form that he would have liked in the first couple of games. That, I'm sure, would have propelled the Fort Charlotte Strikers a lot more. But from what we have seen thus far, Cato really is a prodigious talent. He's a youngster. He's a young man, has a lot of cricket to play. The Windward Islands cricket team would be happy to have him, in their team going forward in the one-day tournaments and in the four-day tournaments. So yeah, it's interesting stuff here. Tearfield, he has 2 deliveries to go, and I'm betting that Cato is not going to stroke these or look for a single. He's just going to keep on going.
Well, some require 15 runs per over. This is down the ground. They're going for one. They speeded across the outfield. Exquisite save there by Captain Hooper as they come back for second. That was 4 written all over it, but a tremendous save on the boundary there.
Yeah, excellent commitment by Asif Hooper. He has always been that sort of cricketer to give 100%. So I've always been impressed with Asif Hooper. Someone the Windward Islands should possibly consider when they play the one-day tournaments.
This time he's lofted down the ground, down to Hooper again. This time he cleans it up. And they go through for 1.
No ball.
It's a no ball. It's a cardinal sin to be bowling a no ball at this time with somewhat of the momentum that these two are going at. Pope will look to fancy his opportunity to score on this one. Well, another no ball. So, well, actually, Pope misses that short ball, but another no ball, which will give Pope another opportunity. And Cato, just below the Grenadine Islands, where he's seated in the Grenada. Well, this time Pope capitalized on that one and into the mid-wicket region. It's another Super 6, and it's a welcome 6 there. 94 for 1, some 41 required from 18 balls. We have a game on.
We certainly do. We really do have a game on. Cato, as you mentioned, has been going well, 57 of 19 deliveries. Pope going 31 of 22. He has some catching up to do, but the way Cato has been going, anything is possible. 41 of 18 deliveries. At this stage, the statistician has just informed me that the Grenadine Divers were 98 without loss. So it's not much of a difference, just 4 runs. Well, the momentum, I believe, will be on the batting team. And we have to remember also that when the Fort Charlotte Strikers were bowling, they had that over of Jordan, who really bowled well in the penultimate over of that innings. He was just unfortunate to be hit for a 6. Well,
another of the Brown brother comes into the attack. As we see Cato, he's on strike. I must imagine it's a Saturday here in St. Vincent in the Windward Islands. The people in the Grenada, they will be getting their oil down for lunch today. And I guess the people in Guave and among Parnassus, in Sates, Bridge Grove, they will be cooking up some oil down as Cato is batting. They will sit down and watch Cato bat through this innings as a leg by struck into the onside. They run through for 1. Have you ever had oil down, Romel?
Yes, I have. It's a Grenadian specialty. Lovely to have. Anytime you go to Grenada, that's one of the first things that you would want.
It is a must-have.
So it's really a must-have once you go to Grenada or Carriacou. Our neighbors.
Pitimatni, good morning.
Good morning to the good folks. Well, I think it's afternoon now, isn't it?
In the air, could be taken. Grant takes a catch. Pope goes. The Grenadine Divers, they take the second wicket. The Fort Charlotte losing Pope at 95 for 2. We are into over number 8.
Yes, at this stage on the screen, the Grenadine Divers were 103. Still not much of a difference there. Pope is still at the, not the Pope, sorry, the Cato is still at the wicket for the Fort Charlotte Strikers, so they should be happy. Gideon Pope, decent strike rate of 140, could have been a bit higher, given what we know he's capable of. Selroy has come in. Well, is that Selroy you're seeing there? Selroy is on his way in. He has done quite well, in my opinion, for the Fort Charlotte Strikers. He can hit the ball very well also.
But what would you think would be the message
Cato,
for Selroy to come in, knowing that Cato is there with his blood pumping?
Well, the most important thing is for Cato to get strike. It's not that Selroy is going to look for singles, because they don't have the luxury of just looking for singles. They have to get the boundaries. So that is why I suspect Selroy is there at number 4, because ordinarily you wouldn't see him batting at number 4. But Cato certainly has to get the most strike if Fort Charlotte Strikers are to win this game.
Well, a swing and a miss down the track a bit there by Cato. Do you think that this could cause a lapse in concentration in the momentum of the run chase with Cato and new batsman coming to the crease?
Well, in almost every cricket game, a loss of a wicket slows things down. But it doesn't necessarily have to be the case.
Well, what a shot! That one is cut behind the point, in front of point, that is. Well, on to the third man boundary, it goes for 4 with such speed of that bat.
It's beautifully executed. And that is the hallmark of Cato's innings thus far. He has been playing each ball on its merit. If the ball is outside off stump, he looks to play it on the offside. Yes, he took some deliveries from the off spinner and hit them on the leg side, but that was an off spinner. So he's playing the balls on their merit.
Down the ground, in the air, could be taken. Taken it is. Cato goes, and boy oh boy, I think the timing on that shot was not there, and he was caught by Theophile, and boy, isn't the Grenadine Divers happy to see the back of Cato at this time.
Yeah, that was a big blow for the Fort Charlotte Strikers, having lost Roland Cato, going for 61 off 22, deliver a strike rate of close to 300. So they have two new batsmen at the crease. The Grenadine Divers, I'm sure, will be fancying their chances of taking this game away from the Fort Charlotte Strikers. Who's coming there? Jordan, it seems, is the new batter. Ray Jordan, if my eyes are not deceiving me. The fast bowler we saw earlier on, he has some pedigree with the bat. We all know him locally. He bats pretty decently. He hasn't had as much opportunities as he would have liked for the Fort Charlotte Strikers to come in early and hit a few. I thought that was a small blunder by the coaching staff of Fort Charlotte Strikers. But nonetheless, he's here, and I'm sure he's going to try as much as possible to give it a whack. Still possible, 36 off 13 balls.
Down the ground, he's off the mark, while Brown was somewhat on the carpet here at the Islands playing field. So, end of the over, it brings up the 100 run for the Fort Charlotte Strikers. They are 100 for 3. We're at the end of over number 8.
Yeah, very good, very good over there by Brown, the other Brown. having only conceded 6 runs, and he took the all-important wicket of Kato, which really has put a big wedge in the minds of the 4 Charlotte strikers, because it has gotten more difficult for them now to cross that threshold of 134. But I'm sure Jordan and Silroy, they're going to have different opinion in their minds. They're going to go gung-ho for that target. Jordan will be hitting to the western side, him being a right-hander, so he should fancy his chances.
Well, 35 from 12 deliveries. Brown again starts with the wide. This time it's... Yes, so it's Brown, a different Brown from the other end. This one is Dean Brown. Roxy Brown. All right, so it's Roxy, Dean, Shem, Salvon. This time he heaved it over square leg. That's gone for 6, sorry. A super 6. Welcome 6 here by Jordan. Brings on the tally. 28 required from 11 balls. Well, should the grenadine divers start to panic?
Well, I don't think they have to panic. They just have to try. On the offside and target that mid-wicket long on area. So really they have to get the ball as full as possible and outside a 1.5 feet, outside off stump. That would be my opinion.
But how much would you look at into the last over? Well, wide Yorker it is, down the ground, they go for 1, they could come back, no, settler for 1. Searoy comes in to strike. First time he will be facing since he's here for battle. Remember, we have the second game coming up, which will be the eliminator number 2. That was the SouFrier Hinkers. They will take on the Botanic Garden Rangers, who lost yesterday, and which seeded the Salt Pond Breakers into the finals. So the Salt Pond Breakers, they will be in the finals for the second edition, as they were in the first. And they will await the winner of today's second game to see who will be in the finals. Oh, delivery straight into the pads. Loud appeal. Goes down to the third man. It's Camperture for 1. But as it is now, we are looking at for Charlotte strikers 109 for 3 in a quest to get 135, sorry. A shot down the ground straight as a pin, and boy, that a great shot. He did not lose the shape in that shot, and he deposited just enough over the rope to get 6 more to the total.
Yeah, that was ferociously struck by Jordan. It barely left the ground, didn't it?
And 20 from 8. It really has become a great run trace, and it's something that is gettable. Pull the way down the ground. Yeah, as if Hooper cleans it up. The long on and the longer fielder, they have come somewhat closer, because they realize that Jordan is someone playing straighter than normal. 116 for 3. We're into over number 9. Just on the brink of over number 9. So 19 from 7. Can we see a super over? Romero. What's a shot? Down the ground. What a shot by Searoy. Wow. That instrument down there is in serious danger. Well, water run chase. It is 13 required of the last over. Boy, can we see a nail-biting finish.
Well, it's pandemonium happening here at Annisville today.
We have been cheated a lot of sixes.
Wow, after the Grenadine Divers scored 134, I never expected to see the Fort Charlotte Strikers being 122 for 3, needing only 13 runs of 6 deliveries. That was extremely well hit, in my opinion. The Fort Charlotte Strikers, they certainly are in the ascendancy here, and they will be backing themselves to take this game home.
Well, they should.
I'd love to see a super over. I really do. We haven't had one for the tournament so far, but I really love to see a super over.
A better conference with the Captain Hooper and Brown as to the last over and field setting. A lot of pointing all over this field. So the square leg man goes out the circle. So it's 122 for 3. Thirteen required from 6 deliveries. And boy, haven't been cheated with some really serious shot, and this game, it's one of the most exciting games I've seen. Yes, there have been nail-biting finish, Romel, but because of the treat that we have got with 60s and bungarees, this is something that the viewers would like to see.
Yeah, definitely. But the line,
down leg side, wide signal by umpire Butler.
well, I'm looking at the field, and they have a man on the 45. A square leg is up. They have a straightish deep mid-wicket, a long on. A third man, a man on the sweeper bunker, a long off. So I'm assuming the line ought to be outside off stump. So I was a bit surprised to see it. Yeah, I was a bit surprised to see the bowler angling the ball down leg.
Well, bowl him straight as a pin. You hit or I hit, and in this case, Brown, the one that hits the wicket. The castle is disturbed, and boy, excitement is a tale of two tapes here. You cannot really call it, because 12 required from 5 balls. The Fort Charlotte Strikers, they're still in the hunt.
Yeah. The game can go anywhere, innit? But the most important thing here for the Grenadine Divers is that a new batsman is on his way. He'll be facing up, so that's a big disadvantage for the Fort Charlotte Strikers. They would really want to get a Silroy on strike here. We've seen what he is capable of. I think he has had a half century in the tournament where he played some marvelous shots. So they would want him to get on strike. But nonetheless, I don't think Lave is going to look for a single. He's going to look for the ball. If he gets off strike, then so be it. But he's going to look for the boundary nonetheless. The feelers in the circle or on the edge of the circle, they're not looking to prevent a single or anything like that. So the single is an offer.
Mm-hmm. Lavia down the ground. Forced up a welcome boundary. It's a tale of two teams. We are all off our chairs here. Boy, it's a game that you have to see. No matter what you're doing, just stop for a few and just take a look at your television. It is compelling cricket. 8 runs required from 4 balls. The Fort Charlotte Strikers in the hunt.
But I like the way Lavia is. He's just standing there as if, well, this is just
I've been batting since last night.
A walk in the park. He's not showing any nervousness at all. He's just saying, hey, hits the ball nonchalantly down to the boundary. Beautiful shot nonetheless.
Well, Brown See ball, hit ball in the air, out to the man at mid wicket, one bunk shot, brings Searoy into strike. Lavier gets one to the mid wicket region, and some 7 required from 3 balls. We are really on the crunch time here, somewhat of a nail biting end where we could see somewhat of a super over, yes or no. That will be determined in the next 3 balls or so.
Well, the captain is having a talk with the bowler. I'm assuming they're going to have a bit of a change in the field. As it stands now, they have a man on the 45, which is short, long leg. There's a square leg is in. Short mid wicket. Well, the mid wicket is on the circle, but deep mid wicket nonetheless. A long on. So I'm not sure what the line is going to be.
Wide off stump, swing over the top, out to the cover region. They go for 1. Oh, coming back for the second, but slipped Lavier. Lavier slipped on his way down, so he had to get up and return to the crease. Boy, it's excitement here. 6 required from 2 balls. Can we need a boundary, at least a 2 or something to square things up?
I tell you what, I'd love to see a 4 and a single. That's what I would love to see. A 4 this delivery and a single next one. Let's have a super over.
And there are persons who really can't watch this kind of cricket, Romel. There are persons who will tell you this is the kind of cricket they like to watch, especially ladies.
Well, there's a change in the field now. So I'm assuming the line is going to be very straight because there's no sweeper. He's aiming for those pads.
Okay, so let's see. Aiming for the pads out to the square leg field, and they go for 1. They settle for 1, and the choke comes in. Some 5 runs required from 1 ball, and boy, compelling cricket here.
Oh boy, oh boy. You need 5 runs off 1 delivery.
Can we see
4 runs is going to have. We're going to get a super over. Searoy is on strike. He, as
Can't
you have
hit
seen
this
throughout the
ball.
tournament, hits the ball extraordinarily well. Asif Hooper is having a chat with the bowler. We all know he's a shoot captain. He's not going to go down lightly. He always gives 110%. The feel, he has put. Oh my God! The ball is going to be bowled wide off stump, which should be the line. Deep point, deep cover.
Delivery. He misses out on that one, and let's see what the square leg says. Oh, it's a legitimate delivery. The Grenadine Divers, they have just won a run chase of 135. These 4 Charlotte Strikers, they were able to get 131 for 4, and it will be a missed out. And what do you think Silver will be thinking at this time?
Oh my God, Silver will be kicking himself. I'm telling you, he would be kicking himself because throughout the tournament, we saw him dispatching those full tosses for big 6s, and he got one. It was right there. It was really right there. I think exuberance got the better of him because he knew he needed a boundary. He knew he absolutely needed a boundary, and he just tried to overhit it a bit. Had he stayed a bit calm and maintained his composure, I had no doubt that ball could have gone for 6. But nonetheless, an excellent chase here by the 4 Charlotte Strikers.
Well, boy, you talk about chase. That was one, and the 4 Charlotte Strikers, they have lost by 4.